Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Lions Den as we make our return. I am Jocelyn Pomplin, joined today by women's golfers Allie Perry and Kenley McElyea. Ladies, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good too.
All right, we just finished the MIAA Conference Championships last week, where these ladies finished third as a team. Allie, you had a top 10 again last week. You've had a couple this year. You were named the MIAA Freshman of the Year as well as second team All-Conference. Were you surprised to learn that, or you kind of knew that was fun?
I was so shocked. I don't know if Coach Hayden showed you the video, but my face expression, oh my
No,
gosh.
not too big.
No, I was very, very, very shocked. Yeah.
She deserves it.
Oh, thank you.
Talk about what went into the work this season to be able to earn that.
Over the winter, before winter break, I was in the sim for like 2 hours straight, just hitting wedges, and I think that's what really helped me over this past semester because I really dialed in, and I know I wasn't able to make a lot of putts with that, but I was able to hit it close, so I think that improved my score a lot.
Just talk about the team as a whole finishing third, in your first ever MIAA championship.
It's great to see the new girls, go out there and perform and have the grit, determination, wanting it. Going into this new conference, they don't expect much from us at all, especially with the young team, and going out there and, not letting nerves get to you or anything, and performing is really good to see.
And now you said a lot of the young girls. You have 3 freshmen, including you playing the season, and you're only a sophomore, but you're kind of the elder statesman of the team. How have you taken on a leadership role this year?
They make it pretty easy for me. I mean, they all know what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do. I think the main thing is traveling, and getting them used to traveling at the beginning was a little rough, but we've got it all down now, and they do a good job at doing what they're supposed to do.
And now kind of looking ahead, the regional here coming up in the next couple of weeks in Oklahoma, what kind of is going into the prep for that? You guys are thinking 7th in the latest regional rankings. What's going into the process to get ready for that?
I feel like we need to focus a lot on short game because I feel like that's kind of what killed us over these past few tournaments. But dialing in short game and just practicing that constantly would really improve our scores.
Hopefully we have some nice weather. We've been in some really rough conditions. Last tournament was 37 mile per hour wind gusts.
That was rough.
For 3 days straight. So we're hoping for some good weather, and I agree, short game, you never know. Putting's different on every course, so it's always good to make sure your chipping's on.
Talk about the weather. How do you prepare to stop, either mentally, anything that it's going to be windy? I mean, obviously, the scores weren't where you'd like them, battling the tough conditions, but just how do you prepare for the adverse weather conditions when they're coming?
We've gotten a little bit lucky with the practice rounds being pretty similar to the tournaments, so hitting different shots during the practice round to help adjust what we need to with the wind. I think that's been really, really helpful. Yeah.
It's always tough, but everybody's out there, and some people that we play with will have a really negative mindset, and you can't,
Mm-hmm.
That's where it comes down to good teams and teams that mentally aren't strong, and we do a good job about keeping, hopes high.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's throw it back a little. How did you start playing golf? When did you start to really get into it?
Oh boy. Okay, so I got into golf when I was 6 or 7, but then I played softball for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was I hate golf. I'm never doing it. And then I'm man, softball, I don't know if it's really for me. And so I started playing competitively when I was 12, and that's when I took it very, very serious. And I'm yeah, this is what I want to do. And I just fell in love with it.
So when did you think that, okay, I know I can play this at a high level, at the next level?
I started really realizing it freshman into sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
I was yeah, I want to go to college for this. I really enjoy this sport most of the time. So, I want to try to improve my scores the best I can and get to the next level if possible.
I was the little kid that grew up on the golf course. My dad would take me on Wednesday night scrambles and strap my car seat into the golf cart, and I'd get out and go play in the sand, and that was just kind of our thing, dad and daughter. And I played softball all the way up until 10, and then he took me to the driving range and actually got me clubs and did all that at 10, and I never touched a softball again. I went to a golf camp, cried the whole time, and then never touched a softball again. It wasn't up until, I mean, you always have big dreams whenever you're playing a sport.
yeah.
You're like, I'm going to go play Division I, you know. But I would say my sophomore year, I was hurt for a little bit, so that kind of took away from me wanting to play in college. But then, you know, reached out to Coach Hayden. I was like, coaches are actually responding to me like, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm here.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned Coach Hayden. Talk about a little bit about the process and how you decided to come to UAFS.
Well, so I was out for an entire year, my junior into senior year. So whenever you're doing that and coaches don't see you posting scores, they're not going to want to pick up an injured player. Well, I know Coach Hayden through a guy that I grew up on my golf course with. He played here for Coach Hayden. So whenever I was, you know, getting worried, he was like, reach out. So talked to Coach Hayden for a while, and then when I got hurt, everybody stopped responding, and Coach Hayden stuck with me through it all. You know, there was no guarantee of me being able to play, and he never gave up on me. So I think as respect, you know, I was like, I'm going here. You know, he never left my side, stayed with me through the whole injury. So.
Yeah, so when I started the recruiting process, it was chaotic, so chaotic and very, very stressful. And I always knew that I wanted to play golf somewhere in Arkansas or just somewhere kind of away from home. I'm from Missouri. And anyway, I reached out to Coach Hayden, and he was very welcoming. But at first it took him a while to respond because he usually doesn't recruit from Missouri. And so I had a really good – yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. But I had a really good senior season, and he saw that I had some good accomplishments there, and that's when he reached out and was like, hey. I'm like, oh, hey. So I came here, and the girls were very welcoming, and Coach was he reminds me of like a fun uncle. And so that was very welcoming, and I just like the campus and how kind of, not necessarily, it's not huge, but, you know, it's still big enough. It's bigger than high school. So, yeah, I really like that.
So now that you're here, you're obviously playing golf. What are you going to school for?
I'm going to school for business administration.
And what do you want to do with that?
Well, I'm studying small enterprise management and leadership right now, so hopefully I can help. I have my family has a business in Oklahoma, and I want to eventually help take that over. Yeah.
I am in the social work program. I'm also doing my accelerated nursing classes now, so that way after I graduate, hopefully to be grad assistant for Coach and get my accelerated nursing degree and then go back and get my RN in Texas. So I've got a pretty big school load.
I say I know we've got quite the nursing program here.
Ooh, it's tough, and it definitely affects your golf game.
So let's see. What are some things you like to do outside of golf?
I'm actually a big reader. I really like to read. And, well, my main hobby obviously is golf, but I like to read. I like to work out, and I like to hang out with my friends a lot. I'm a very social person. And so if I don't hang out with friends, I kind of get cranky. And yeah, that's one of the biggest things, hanging out with my friends.
I would say don't have too much free time right now, but I do like to go to the gym. I love team settings whenever we all get together outside. We haven't done it much this year due to everybody, you know, being kind of all over the place. But I'm a social person too, so I like to hang out with people. But yeah, I'll watch movies every once in a while, but I'm not a big television person.
Right.
So I like to be out doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on the road a lot for weekends, you know, with the team. You've traveled, you know, to Arizona and all over the Midwest, kind of. What's been your favorite part of the season so far?
Traveling for sure. Like going to Tucson, Arizona was probably the best trip I've ever had. That in Florida was pretty close, but the mountains, I've never been to Arizona before. And it was so stunning. It was so beautiful. And our resort kind of thing that we were on, the background was mountains by the pool area. And so we just sat there and looked at the mountains all day. It was great.
I would say that was my favorite too. I don't necessarily like traveling all the time, especially the airports. I'm not a fan of the
those
airport.
Those are stressful.
But
so I think we flew a lot more last year than in previous years.
Yes, but no, Arizona was beautiful. I like that we stayed at the resort. Normally when they went in the past, when we went last year, we didn't get to stay at the resort because it was all booked. But Coach got us in at the resort. We were doing room service. We were eating our breakfast. It was really nice.
Yes, it was great.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to figure out what else we can ask you guys. I mean, we talked a little bit about, what you're going to do to prepare, for regionals. What are kind of the goals that you guys have going into the postseason?
Oh man, that's a good question. One of the goals that I have is I want to just maintain a positive mindset throughout regionals, like the tournament. I have a tendency to where if I have a few bad holes in a row, I mean, it can go downhill pretty quickly and it's hard for me to get out of. But I think if I really have the goal and want to achieve the goal of maintaining a good mindset, then I can. And I mean, of course I want to shoot a good score, but having the mindset, you have to have a good mindset to do that. So I want to maintain a good mindset throughout the whole regional tournament.
I'm really hoping like this is our record-breaking tournament, I'm excited to see, having a young team. It's crazy to think that, when I'm a senior, we're going to be going. Like, we're going to be ready. Experience is going to be there in college golf. I'm really hoping that this tournament's going to prove to a lot of people that even though you have a young team, you're willing to do anything.
Right. Like you said, with all you stick around, obviously with all that goes on in today's college athletics, there's so many moving factors. But like I said, all you guys here, like 2 years down the road, obviously you want to have success now, but use that success now and build for even greater success.
Yes.
So what is your go-to club? What's your favorite club in the bag?
Right now, probably my 9-iron. Honestly, it's kind of odd. It used to be my 7-iron, but now it's my 9-iron. I'm a little bit more consistent with that one now than I was in the past. So, yeah, 9-iron.
Mine's 7-iron.
Yeah.
Not the driver. The driver's not my friend.
Tee off with the 3-wood.
I still tee off with the driver. It's probably not a smart idea.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Well, I think that's all I have for you two today. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Lions Den, and good luck at regionals here in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.